Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to the Brony Show, episode 595. I'm your host here to bring you the Brony community for this week and also some shenanigans to go along with it. I am Circuit Main. But of course, I am also joined by my wonderful group of panelists here who are also going to join in said shenanigans. We are joined by DM21,
Hi.
Toakoi,
Hello.
Textalion,
Hey.
and of course from the Otaku Ascended, Suki.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, thanks.
Yep. And this week we are taking it a little bit easy because not only do I have a very busy week ahead of me, including a very big, massive, insane convention, I also have to get a lot ready for said convention, the likes of which that sleep will be a little hard pressed for me in some cases. But because of that, we're going to have a little bit of fun and relaxing times by playing Gartic Pone, or our version of Gartic Phone, which is of course the a telephone game where you either get one part of a prompt and you have to try to figure out what the prompt is about or make your own spin on it. And you either do that with more random crazy words or random crazy art or both. Either case, we'll just kind of play by ear as we go. But of course, before we do all of that, we have our normal time to warm up our vocal cords, talk a little bit about ourselves and our daily lives, and what better way to do that than with a little bit of wub. So I would like to ask.
$100 on Homer tears. Fun.
Well, that's a rub of a wub. But wubba rub rub. Okay, that was stupid. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and open up the chat here for a quick moment. Go ahead and talk about the daily lives with wub, or as it's also affectionately referred to as, what's up, bronies?
Well, I booked my flight for HarmonyCon for January, so that's fun. So I'm already planning the next trip.
That sounds exciting. I honestly was hoping I could jump into HarmonyCon this year, especially since Babs is going to be no longer a thing after this next one. However, I may not be able to quite swing it financially and time wise, so it's massively up in the air. But let's just say that efforts are actually seriously being made. Ooh, a VR convention. That is awesome. What convention was it? Was it in VR chat or was it a different desktop that was doing that? Give us some details, Draconic. I'm curious. Anyway, please go on.
I basically was going to say the only one I know of would be Plurality, but I think they've had theirs unless there's another convention going on, which it's that. Also, I'm just.
Yeah, no, Virality was a couple of months ago. Yeah. Oh, CozyCon. Oh, I think I actually heard.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Let's see, CozyCon, huh? Let's see.
Oh, also, it's just being part of my own convention as well. Stuff's been moving and shaking there, and there was a group of like 3 people that got into the staff position and seemed to. Well, they seem to be like, yeah, I'm part of a staff of convention. I am better. I am famous. And it's like, okay, what? Needless to say, they outed themselves, so they're not staff anymore.
What? Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I was not paying attention for any of that.
Basically, I said some people who got it in the head that just because they're part of staff means big deals, and eventually weed themselves out.
Too big for the britches, apparently.
Yep.
That sucks. That sucks, but it's fair. Yeah.
It's sometimes fun seeing how people go, "Oh, I'm part of this thing now, so I must be a big deal."
Let's see.
It's one of those things. Until you're on that side of stuff, you go, "Okay, how do people think this is okay?" And then you go, "Oh, that's how they think."
Yeah.
It's people.
Yeah. rough to hear about that. But yeah, I found out CozyCon here. That doesn't look like it's quite as infamous as Ferality, but yeah, it definitely looks interesting. It's a free for all convention, so any and all fandoms welcome. Looks like music, panels, artists, creators, all that stuff. You know, basically a little bit of everything, really. Which that is really, really, really cool. Let's see.
It's one of those things of it's kind of easy to do conventions, but it's
I know, dude. Take it back. Take it back. That is not a statement you should make lightly.
No, I said it's kind of easy to do conventions.
That is not a statement you make lightly.
I said kinda.
No, it is not. It is not
No.
easy. And the moment you say it's kind of easy, you're not doing it right.
Okay, here's how I'm comparing that.
Okay.
An online convention can be easily set up within a month and be able to be done in a few months after that. You just have to deal with all the logistics of getting a convention set up.
There's still a lot more involved with that. I mean, yeah,
Yes.
it's easier to hit the ground running, but it still takes a lot. That's like saying, yeah, you could take a journey of you could do a 10-mile trip. You could do a 10-mile jog across a 10-mile marathon. All you have to do is just walk out the door and start running. But yeah, you got to start training and preparing and getting a little bit more ready for that too. It's not just running out of your door with your sneakers on and maybe your jams after a bowl of cereal.
I understand that, and that's why I said it. It is easy, not that it is an easy thing to do.
You said it was an easy thing. You could have said it. I mean, not as complicated, maybe, or I mean, there were better ways to phrase that, man.
Well,
Anyway,
I was also
fair. I
trying
get.
to explain myself after that, but then I got cut off, and here we are.
You got cut off because you started off really poorly.
There.
All right then. But anyway, yeah, no. It's still really awesome. This really does look cool. I might have to check it out and see if they do another one next year.
Hold on.
To try to
Go
jump
down
in on
below.
that.
They have other conventions.
Oh yeah, no, not they to have other conventions. I think they're advertising for others, like Fernal Equinox. Yeah, I know about that one in Canada, Vancouver. I mean, they're all Canadians. It's all Canadian. It's always has
Is that
been.
a bad thing?
No, it's just funny. No, it's just funny. You're looking at it, it's like all the conventions are Canadian. It's like they always have been. Just gun right behind. But,
Yeah.
Anyway, but no, that is sorry, it just caught me so off guard. Usually you get like a smattering of like, here's a German convention, here's one in California,
I'll be
here's a
back
Canadian one, and then suddenly it's like, no, all Canada. It's like, oops, all Canada, the breakfast cereal of furry conventions.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
it's
man.
kind of makes sense because it's an easier place to get to, and if you're flying out, you might as well go to a place where you don't get the overly weird looks.
We're just gonna move on. We're gonna move on. Anyway, thanks for letting us know about the CozyCon. That is really awesome, and might be something to check out next year. It's too bad I missed it this year, but yeah. Speaking of which, might as well talk a little bit about my What's Up, Brony, or Wub time here. I am going to be going to the big local convention here in the next few days. This, of course, is Fan X, the Utah Fandom Convention, which they had to call it the Fandom Convention because they decided to step on San Diego Comic-Con's toes, and it ended up quite litigiously. But that history aside, yeah, I'm gonna have fun. But this is massive. It's not like a local convention with like a few hundred people or maybe even 1,000. Tens of thousands of people are gonna be at this thing. Last time I was there, when a lot of panel rooms let out, it was literally a sea of people that was going nowhere in a giant hall. I never saw anything like it before. It was the kind of thing you look down and you're like, I could crowd surf on that, but I'm pretty sure I would die if I tried.
So
It was-
basically, BronyCon end of day, like end of convention type.
BronyCon wishes it could look like this. This was nuts. This was so nuts. But yeah, it's still fascinating to go to. It's got like wall to wall panels. It's got a vendor hall that is so huge you could get lost in it all day. I've done it. I have done it twice. I've literally spent an entire day, almost the entire day, in the vendor hall going from booth to booth because I was just curious about everything that I could find. I found some cool stuff too. So. But yeah, no, it is a big, wild, crazy time. So much so, earlier this weekend, I also got my immunization shots for COVID and for the flu. Which everybody, please make sure to, if you can, get immunized.
Are too late for me. I have to wait for that.
Well, I mean, when you can.
Thanks, man.
When you can, please do. It's honestly for your own benefit, really. Not even for anybody else, just for yourself, because it sucks to get sick. And it sucks even more when it can really damage you for a long-term period. And I'm speaking from experience on that in some regard. But anyway, other than that, not much else going on. I got another batch of mead that I finished brewing, just a standard blueberry, testing some other methods of making the blueberry mead. It didn't work out all that well, unfortunately, to an extent. This is actually really strong blueberry mead. It's like 10% ABV. You normally don't get it that high. So yeah, this stuff is like stronger than most strong beers. This thing could actually could give Four Loko a little bit of run for its money. It's crazy that you do that. That you could do that with the mead. But before I started brewing it, I finally started to learn how to really bring out a strong fruit flavor for mead. So I'm going to be getting back on track on doing some really interesting things, and hopefully I can make some amazing mead in the near future. Of course, the whole goal is for making that BabsCon mead for the final Babs, but that's a whole nother case. I don't think I have anything else at the moment for WUB. Anybody else have any other WUB they want to throw out there? Okay. I'd say with that means our WUB is done. Let's get on with the dub. Huh. Oh, okay.
Did you just have a realization what you just said?
No. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and lay it out here. Coldust threw an image through a bunch of different boards and even messaged me in text with it, which is rare. I rarely ever get phone text from him, but it's just funny. It's just basically this. I absolutely, that's absolutely hilarious. I absolutely love that.
Oh, Discord.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Ah,
So it's the same one that's already in the chat rooms anyway, but yeah, it'll give me a good excuse to get my Discord started here.
Yes.
Yes, freaking. Thank you, Coltus. That's hilarious.
You're welcome. I found it on the internet somewhere.
When the internet actually does something good and fun.
Yes.
All right. I'd say that is our cue to go ahead and get on with the news. And we're going to start off, of course, with convention news. Since we already talked about some online VR conventions, let's talk about some pony conventions out there. We have Hops Featherfest. This is, of course, is a fun little convention that is going on over in take it. Okay, let me bring it up again. I had it, tip my tongue. It's not Germany. It's not Germany. But I can't remember what it's called, where it is now. Austria. It's near Germany. It's on Austria. The Hops Convention over in Austria. This is going to be over, in Austria. So if you are in Europe, in the Austrian area, it looks like they're going to have a big old time. They're already promoting live music that is going to be going on. Their vendor hall. Really, the Twitter is amazing to look at. It's just awesome bringing in. Oh, they're even having a bring and buy. So it looks like you could bring your own stuff and also buy other people's stuff. So kind of like a little bit of a swap meet situation. That's really cool. Oh, and a T-shirt and oh wow, this is fun. I'm actually enjoying this. This is amazing. Okay, so yeah, take a look at the Twitter. It's the Hops Featherfest if you really want to get a look. But yeah, this looks like a fun convention. Of course, another convention is going to be happening this weekend as well. If you know about it, you know about it. If you don't, then we're not going to talk too much about it, other than the fact that we are keeping an eye on it just to see what happens with it. I know last year nothing really happened. We're gonna see if the same thing happens. If the same thing happens, if nothing happens this year, essentially, we're just gonna see what happens. And if we find need to talk about it, we will. Other than that, UK PonyCon is happening the next week. Of course, this is Europe. This is the United Kingdom's big pony convention, celebrating not just Generation 4 or 5, but all pony generations. Really big convention, really big fun time. I absolutely love looking at it and seeing what they have. But yeah, that is going to be coming up over in Nottingham next week. And of course, the week after that is Derpy Fest, which is in Germany, over at a campsite. They're actually doing a full-blown campsite, making it a space camp for ponies for Derpy. And the week after that is PonyCon Holland, of course, the pony convention over in Holland. So yeah, a lot of European conventions going on over the next few weeks. So yeah, if you are in Europe, you like pony, you are eating healthy. There's a lot there.
A quick little what's up with me. I think I am COVID free now.
Hey, that's awesome. Glad to hear it. And we lost somebody.
Thank
we
you.
lost Toa. When did we lose Toa?
Huh.
Anyway, I'm sorry. All right, and finally, just to wrap it all up, we got Ponyville Cider Fest, which is going to be the next U.S. convention and also the big one, the last one for the year over in the U.S. And this one's been interesting to say the least because it's taken a while for things to happen. The big thing that has why do we have to do this every single time? Okay, we're just gonna back away for now. So at the moment we are about a month and a week away from Ponyville Cider Fest, and not a lot has been announced other than the fact that registration has opened. If you are basically going for why haven't they haven't updated on the website yet? That's interesting. Oh no, wait, no. Okay, that is really weird. The website's not. Well, maybe they're waiting for the. So standard registration has opened, but it looks like you may need to go to their Discord or their Twitter for it. The funny thing about it is standard is open, but they have not opened registration for the sponsor and bundle packages, like the patrons, the big high ticket registrations yet. Which is kind of curious. It's really honestly very curious. A lot of people have been wondering what's been going on with that. There has been some information gleamed out that apparently they were waiting or trying to figure something out that apparently didn't quite go to plan. I'm not. Unfortunately, we don't know what that is. It's not been very transparent. But hopefully, we're talking like in the next couple of days, if not maybe even tonight while we're talking, they're going to be opening up the big registrations, at which point I'm going to be jumping into it and buying myself a spike package so I can try to get in the bar trot. But yeah, Ciderfest is happening. Things are happening. I'm still excited. I'm still hopeful. Honestly, it's got me a little concerned about things, but I'm just mostly concerned that something bad might be going on behind the scenes, and I really want Ciderfest to continue because I really, really love it. And I really enjoy it. Not to say that if something were to go wrong with Ciderfest, I couldn't always go to Windy City instead, but I like Ciderfest too. It just feels like a nice cup of cider in the middle of the winter, you know? Anyway, and aside from that, that's enough of the convention scene. Let's talk about the news. And we're going to start off the news with mods. Because who doesn't like to mod up their games? A new Pony Anthro race mod for Fallout 4 has been released. Have you always wanted to be the great and powerful Trixie, taking on the wasteland and blowing away everybody with laser musket, including the Minutemen, because they will not stop bothering you? Because I sure have. I've wanted to do that, so... But yes, now, if you wanted to build your base and you wanted to have a pony on your head while you're doing it, Nexus Mods now has a full-on Anthro Ponies mod for Fallout 4. Of course, since it's on Nexus Mod, it's pretty easy to just get it downloaded and installed. And I'm sure a lot of people already have Fallout 4 after the London mod that recently came out also was released.
Unfortunately, I sold my old copy long ago.
Well, you don't need to...
Well, yeah, I bought it physically at first. Well, it was practically for free when I got it.
Well, that's fair. That's fair, but I mean, these mods would only work on the...
I know. Unconsequential because it's downloaded to my Steam library already.
Well, there's that, yeah, and it would, yeah, you would need the digital, like a PC version to use these mods anyway.
I would be tempted to do this, but to be honest, I didn't enjoy my time with Fallout 4.
No, that's fair.
That's fair. I mean, this is just if you want to do something, if you just want to have little Pip running around in the wastelands of Fallout.
But Fallout London, now that's a game that came back into my mind.
Indeed. Well, the mod is out there for anybody who's interested, and it's on Nexus Mod, so it should be an easy install. Next, the secret of my excess. Of course, if you love animatics and you love the animation process, this gives us another glimpse into the fun little process that is creating the cartoon. The animatics for Secret of my Excess are showing off. This shows quick sketches, general ideas of how they wanted the scene to play out, where the characters' positions were, the camera positioning, phrasing, timing, all that fun stuff. Essentially, it gives a general idea of how it works before it works. So yeah, it is really awesome to check this out because you can really get an idea of how everything is supposed to look. It's also kind of fun to just see how cartoonish everybody looks and all the just all the fun things that they came up with to try to figure this all out. It really is an awesome and fun time and really, really worth a check out. So yep, that is available, and you can also download it whenever you want as well. In fact, I would kind of recommend it because it's not exactly being hosted on YouTube or anything. It's just kind of out there, so it will last as long as it lasts. I already downloaded it. I'm not gonna lie.
Given how Fandom Archive stuff, the Pony Archive should have a copy, but
they probably already do. But get an archive for yourself because even the Pony Archive could fail.
Yep.
It's nice to have a backup, but yeah. Anyway, top Brony music. You like music, but you don't know the new artists that are out there, or you don't know what the hell music was for that month. Top Brony Music has that covered with basically fan votes. If you wanted to know some of the musicians that are out there now that may be making pony music, or hear some of the big and musicians that are still out there and their latest songs that may be getting that swing, you could get it's a good time to take a look, see all of the fun music that's coming out, and maybe even find the new artist that you didn't know was out there. Honestly, I always recommend this. I always suggest checking it out, and it is always a good time just to even get a taste of some of the musicians that are out there. And yeah, they even have My Little Romance. We all saw that coming.
Yep.
Next, So, who wants to get Burger King? If we can,
Oh,
if some,
I did have it. I
Tell
did
you
have it
what.
recently.
tell you what, if somebody could go ahead and we can go over to Sweden, I'll buy.
Now, what is the current exchange rate between the U.S. and Sweden?
Who cares? Because the big thing is that Burger King in Norway, Sweden, and Denmark is getting pony books. That's right. We get a cheap toy that it's made for a penny over at a factory from let's just say questionable areas, if not just outright China. Looks like Denmark and Norway are getting little books instead with G5 characters. So, yep, it looks like they are 6 books in total and 12 pages in total. And it looks like this also has 6 different books of Transformers that goes along with probably the boys' side of food. Let's see. Still need to watch G5. Yes, you do, but we'll get to that in a little bit for a good reason. But yes, yeah, if you want a chance to get a book and you are able to read I don't think, is the language Swedish or is it like something like I swear it was something different. Deutsch?
Speaking of Deutsch is for German.
Yeah, no, I thought German was Deutsch. So yeah.
The Danish would speak Deutsch.
Oh, really? No. Also, it would be. No, it wouldn't be. What?
No,
Are the
I
Danish
think-
in Denmark?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Well,
it is Deutsch.
Denmark is literally the homeland of the Danes.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. Anyway, if you know a European language, or you can use a Google Lens Translate, you can get the books. That's all we're saying here. We're gonna go ahead and move on. Who wants to hear a heartwarming story about a plushie that was lost and found? Well, I don't, because I still lost mine.
And yes,
Okay.
it is just Danish, not Deutsch.
I'm just gonna move on.
Mm-hmm.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
Well, learn something new, I suppose. So, lost OC plushie apparently was found in a thrift store. This is a lot of serendipity happening all at once. So, I actually ran across this story on, I don't think it was actually on the Twitter itself, but on a Reddit post that was covering a lot of what was happening while it was happening. But, so what essentially happened is a plushie that was ordered, custom made for somebody's OC, was attempting to be delivered by the U.S. Postal Service. And during transit, suddenly there was a problem in delivery. And after a lot of back and forth, it was finally admitted that they lost it. They don't know what happened. It's gone. Something happened, and file an insurance claim. So the person did get the claim. They talked to the plushie maker, who was nice enough to work on a second OC plushie for the person. Now, normally that would be the end of it. You know, it would suck, but a plushie's gone forever. Now, here's the funny thing. Apparently, some time ago, somebody was checking out their thrift store, and lo and behold, a random OC Pony plushie was just there. And the amazing part about this is this person knew who this OC's plushie was, and knew it was a lost plushie, and how to get in contact with them. And so, miraculously, they were able to get in contact. They got a hold of the plushie, and they literally have now 2 plushies of their OC, slightly different from one another, because between this and the other one that was made to make up for the lost one, the person up their plushie making game a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I know it's an amazing serendipity that not only did somebody find the OC plush in a thrift store, they knew who it was and were able to get in contact with them. So
that is amazing.
That's the kind of stuff that warms the cockles of your heart. You never hear about that stuff. How did it even end up there? Yes, good question. A lot of theories.
We still don't know.
No, there's theories. We may not know the actual story or the truth, But one thing that does happen with a lot of packages that don't get delivered because of delivery issues or things like that is that they end up getting sold because they can't hold them forever. So they end up selling them like unclaimed mail or lost merchandise or things like that. There's actually websites now that you can go to and look at this stuff and see, stuff that hasn't been claimed or like boxes that have no way of being delivered that you can put a bid for and win and buy. So the chances are pretty good somebody bought it, found the plush, and maybe they didn't want anything to do with it, and they ended up donating it to the thrift store. It could also be that there's also the more nefarious thing where maybe a person working for the post office stole the package, thought it was important because it was insured. It was an insured package. Opened it up, just saw there was a plush in there, and just ended up dropping it off at a donation center because they didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah, cut their losses. Like, I stole it. I went through all that effort, and I only stole a big plushie.
Which,
how am I going to sell this?
Which, admittedly, it was probably the more decent thing to do if that were the case, because they could easily just thrown it away, but...
The only real thing that's suspicious is the fact that there is a water stain on one part of it, which goes into a whole nother theory.
That is possible, but it also might explain the mishandled package a lot more. Just, it got wet, maybe something happened with the label where it's no longer legible, and the plushie got lost. That was it.
Mm-hmm. And I found the name of the places you can go. It's the Mail Recovery Center. But I think a lot of people in the postal thing call it the Dead Mail building or room, depending on, where it is. It's quite fascinating.
Yep, and it looks like there's a whole thing. Let's see. Mail Recovery Center will auction off items held. They even have a link about auctions and... Oh, yeah, no, this is the website I eventually found. Government deals.
Yep, because technically the mail is a government item.
Well, yeah. So yeah, if you really wanted to try to get your hand on some of this unclaimed mail, there's a possibility. It's probably general merchandise or something like that. Watch me scroll down and I suddenly see a pony plushie. That'd be just hilarious.
Well, there's a Spider-Man. There's a gun.
Yeah.
Another gun.
There's a lot of stuff, and it tends to run cheap. I don't know if they'll actually mail it out to you or if you have to do pickups or though. There's a lot I don't know about it, and I haven't really took a too deep look into it. But either case, it is just really awesome that this happened to happen and it was recovered. And that is just really the sweetest thing. Do you know what else is sweet? The holidays. See, makes me wonder how many custom pony stuff. Probably less than you think, but definitely more than you thought.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, guess what? Christmas is coming, but we're not going to acknowledge it too much yet, except for this. Hallmark has announced the pony figure that will be their ornament for this year, and Sunny Star Scout is the figure. And it should be over at Target pretty much right now if you want to get your hold of your very own Sunny Star Scout Hallmark ornament. So now you can give your ornament some wings.
Who gave her Red Bull?
Actually, I'm more surprised how long it took for her to become an ornament. I think we got Izzy, Zip, and I think even Pip before Sunny.
Well, this must be she must be more expensive than them because look at that. Look at those wings.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think they're that as expensive. It kind of feels like they got tacked on and just shoved into a
but
glitter basin.
on Cerny I won't know that.
Yeah, maybe.
Mainly kids, but still.
True. Still, it's really awesome that it's cool. I like it. And I'm probably going to pick one up at some point because I already got a ton of pony ornaments. Let's add another one. I'm sure the tree won't die yet. It's an artificial tree too, so if it died, that is really wild. So, who wants to fight with the Princess of Friendship? Well, I do. So, Rivals of Aether has released a Twilight Sparkle So, yep. I mean, it's another game mod, essentially. Rivals of Aether, which is a full-on Smash Brothers-like clone on Steam, also has quite a vibrant workshop. And apparently with that workshop, you could download all sorts of characters. Alright, thank you. And that also includes Twilight Sparkle. And also different color combinations of said Twilight Sparkle. But yes, you could have Twiggy McSpriggles jumping around in Rivals of Aether, doing the damage. So yeah, we won't get an official Fighting as Magic, but hey, we got the next to the next to the next best thing. Let's see. Anyone remember the title My Little Brony from Storage Wars? I saw some of it, yes. It made my eyes roll. It hurt. It made my eyes roll and it hurt, but I'm gonna walk out. But it was a thing.
Yeah, trying to appeal to the fandom.
But yeah, in all honesty, this is really cool, and if it hits off well enough, we may even see the other main 6 make appearances here. And we'll finally have Fighting as Magic the way it always was meant to be, as some random mod for another fighting game. Seriously though, it is really awesome, and probably should check it out at some point if you have a copy of the game.
You know, this would be a good time. You know, this would be a good time to try to bring back the original Fighting is Magic without Hasbro coming down, but although I doubt.
No, that version's already out there.
It already got a cease and desist, so that one you're not gonna really see that ever again outside of background, which in all honesty it does exist. Fighting a Magic Aurora, Google it. Anyway, speaking of Hasbro, here comes the fun time. Who's ready for a serious discussion?
Uh-oh.
Put on the serious pants. Come on, everyone.
All right. So at the moment, I will say this is not 100% confirmed, but it is so up there in possible confirmation that you can't help figure it you can't help but wonder and figure it may actually be true. So what has been found out so far? It looks like a couple of people have been messaging out to Hasbro, to some representatives of Hasbro, because Tell Your Tale only had 4 episodes that left that they could find on YouTube. There wasn't a lot more being talked about with Tell Your Tale itself, and with a bunch of staff having leave the animation studio that was making Tell Your Tale. Essentially, they were just trying to figure out what was going on. So a representative, PR representative of Hasbro, allegedly, I might say, did reach out and essentially confirm to some extent that Tell Your Tale may be wrapping up here a lot sooner than expected. As soon as pretty much the October. And G5 itself may already be out the door, as it were. So the Generation 5 of My Little Pony might have the same unceremonious end that most anime watchers will usually get for their favorite anime series if they don't read the mangas.
Well, unless the specials ended off, though.
Well, you never know.
And we'll always be together through all the adventures yet to come.
So we go with the Full Metal Alchemist thing.
Well, we could always do Inuyasha. The story continues in the manga.
or Sonic Boom.
But in all honesty, so let's see if there's unresolved stuff. Hopefully, the comic can wrap it up. That one's also a big question mark right now. The comic is uncertain what it's going to do. It could easily decide to go ahead and pull essentially a season 10, the season 10 of Tell Your Tale. I don't know if they will though.
I don't consider season 10 of the G4 comics canon.
But that's your preference.
That's also why I say I don't know if they
Indeed.
will. Not a lot of people exactly took.
Just want
took it
to
to
point
heart.
that out.
However, what we do know is that a lot was left on the table. So apparently, there was a plan to have over 100 episodes of Tell Your Tale made for season 2. There was going to be 3 more specials also made. We're talking there was a lot of stuff that Tell Your Tale was still going to end up doing, but apparently this now before people are freaking out like, "Oh, I can't believe they did this so close." This apparently happened in February. The decision was made to cut it all out in February.
Which, fair enough.
Which it kind of lines up with the fact that a lot of animation staff left the animation studio in April. Because I'm guessing they did what they could, and then, yeah. So, so at the moment, though, again, we have not gotten official 100% confirmation from Hasbro. I don't know if we ever will. It might be one of those things they're not going to talk about it. It's basically going to be like, ignore this, let's move on to this. And then we'll start to see things about either G6 or the fact that they're going to rehash a lot of G4 and G5 to basically try to earn more money. Because apparently Hasbro's not exactly doing as hot as they would like to be doing. But
Indeed, if you get given the toys quality given to compared to their new competitor.
There's a lot of questions going on, and even if you go on Twitter, there's some people that are throwing in their possible 2 cents and their theories and their ideas. I have read some of them, and I do see where they're going with their thoughts and their ideas and how Hasbro, I honestly don't think this was anything malicious. I think it was mostly incompetence, but that's another case.
Yeah. Also, I did do a check. Technically, this generation of My Little Pony, you could say it started at the end of 2020, but I'm going with 2021. 3 years is about right for some toy generations.
It is and it isn't at the same time, because it just the problem is that this is the first time that Pony ever had something like this kind of happen. I mean, Generation 1, it had the movies, but then it went to a slice of life where you could stop the series at any point and you weren't exactly going to be missing out. See, Generation 2 kind of had the same thing going on there. Generation 3, same deal. Slice of life, nothing, all the things were self-contained. Yes, even 3.5. Generation 4 was the first time we actually had an arcing story, but they were able to write it to its completion and even finish it off, much to the chagrin of some people. But and even Pony Life. Actually, I don't know too much about Pony Life.
Pony Life was just like a SD
It was a
Gundam
filler.
chibi.
Well,
Yeah.
it did have mostly a slice of life kind of situation, but I think it also had a few story elements that may have gotten kind of hanged a bit. But I haven't watched enough to really guess on that.
I personally think that was either due to time or most likely for fan artists or fanfic writers to go nuts on it.
Absolutely not. No, they don't care. I'm not gonna lie, they do not care.
That's the optimist in me.
I know
Well,
it's a good optimist, and my optimism is I hope the fan artists and fan writers actually run with it. But it's not Hasbro setting them up to do
cynicism
that.
in me agrees with you, Circuit, though.
Yeah. Well, I think of it more of a realistic thing. Not even cynic. It just that's the way businesses work.
Oh,
And
realism.
I'm hoping the
yeah,
fan.
That's what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah, and I'm just hoping that the fandom wants to pick up the pieces and run with them as they want to do, and they sometimes
Why
do
did
really well.
cynicism come to the forefront?
Yeah, it's a common
Because the
term.
world is cynical and we
And-
try to be a little bit better.
Anyway, yeah, getting back on track. So yeah, Draconic. This is why I recommended. If you're going to go on to G5 now is probably the best time, because you literally have an end mark, or if everything is true, you will have an end mark. There's literally an end. You're not going to be playing constant catch up. You will hit the end point. But along with that, some YouTubers have already started to review the possibilities of what is going on, including Doc Anubis, who managed to get a good chunk of screenies of different concept art and setups for a lot of the different Tell Your Tale animations that may have come out or were planning on coming out. I mean, seriously, I love how Izzy looks right here. That is just beautifully hilarious fun. I mean, seriously, it's really fun to see some of the concept art here, and how they were thinking with it.
That's
Yeah. But yeah, unfortunately this is going to leave a lot of questions about what they were planning, what was going to be planned, what were motivations in some regards. And yes, I am going to still try to get as many different artists making Allura as humanly possible, because I think she actually had a lot of potential, and I kind of want to actually see if we can give her a little bit of a renaissance with artists.
in all honesty, she's an interesting character.
And has a cool style too. But yep, I think ultimately that this kind of was a bit of both a cautionary tale and not a surprising one when it comes to shows that are essentially vehicles to try to sell toys and figures, especially when the people that are getting involved are trying to sell toys and figures and not sell a story. It's complicated and it's difficult and it's frustrating. There's a lot of questions that we may never get answered. We may actually get later on, as the time goes on, we may actually get more information about where Tell Your Tale was going to be headed. We may get more concept art. We may even get some screenies of some of the animatics or things of how the stories were going to play out. We may not get anything at all. And I think ultimately it may be up to the fandom that decides if they want to theorize where the story was going or make their own stories, or maybe they'll just, leave it as is. Maybe it's the story that ends without a proper resolution, which can happen too. So, as for a more serious discussion on this, I am going to wait until we have more concrete information and an actual confirmation, whether by nothing else coming out after October or what have you. Have really more serious discussion about G5 and basically the abruptness of it, and just really get some thoughts on it. But for now, that's kind of where we're sitting. It's possibly ended. There's a lot of evidence that is pointing to that, but we have no 100% confirmation from official sources. However, what we do have for official sources is Hasbro has confirmed next retro vibes for MLPs through 2025 and a total brand evolution, quote unquote, in 2026. Whatever that means. So, of course, the retro vibes, apparently, and pretty much obvious, and why we're probably going to start seeing a lot more G4 soon to come. They're basically going to be trying to sell nostalgia for the series next year. A lot of the G4 figures, G1 figures, don't think we'll see anything else. We're literally just going to see a whole lot more G4 and G1. We might see some G5.
Might see some G3 stuff.
I wonder.
I doubt that.
I wonder if they're going to make a reboot or a continuation of G1 in the G4 art style.
Nope, I don't think that's going to happen at all. What we are going...
Or close to it anyways.
I think we're just going to see a lot of merchandise and figures and things that just to kind of play off the whole nostalgia thing, but nothing show or nothing show or video creation wise, at least to my thoughts and understanding on this.
True, but it could be anything until they really speak out.
I think what the total brand evolution, quote unquote, in 2026 is when we're going to see the possibility of a Generation 6 and what that may entail. Including if we actually will get a show for Generation 6 or if it's just going to end up being a merch line like G2 was. But,
yeah, you never can tell.
So, we are not going to get a new season for the old show. I'm hoping we don't. I'm not going to lie. As much as people would love to get an actual season 10 or 11 or 12 of Generation 4 or maybe another season of Generation 1, don't. Please.
I'm sorry, the ship has sailed. You cannot do that.
No, it's not that. I mean, yes, it is that. That's not the problem. The problem is that Generation 1 was 30, 40 years ago. The stories that it told were a product of its time as well. when mythological creatures and monsters can actually be a lot more monstrous, where you can actually have the ponies in chains and chokers and being transformed into hideous creatures, and maybe even showing of what should be blood, but not quite, but you could really wreck them. And nobody would bat an eye because that was the style at the time.
Yep.
Yeah, they were more hardcore back then.
It's not hardcore. It is just what was able to be done.
Well, no, hardcore would definitely be it. It's just that they didn't have as many blockers and censorship concerns that like we do nowadays.
May we not forget how hardcore and epic and destructive and absolutely mind-boggling Beeson the Furniture Wizard was.
Oh, absolutely, yes. However, and with G4, yes, they could bring back the voice actors. Yes, they could start doing more animations. But a lot of the staff from G4 have kind of already went on to other things. They're probably not going to come back to it. It's not going to be the same people. And we could have our own season 10 of the comics in the show. Or maybe even more, something even like Pony Life trying to be Generation 4. Which that would be horrifying.
Yeah.
It is one of those things you do not try to redo the old show unless you have everyone there. I looked at Animaniacs as an example of that done well.
Even Animaniacs kind of lost a good chunk of its original spark with the new releases on Hulu. I'm not saying it's bad, but it is definitely different.
It just didn't hit the same as the old series.
Which, I honestly, I just hope they throw out merchandise. Maybe they throw out a random weirdness thing here and there of G6 in a nostalgia style. That might actually work. Maybe they'll do G6 in an old school style, but it have its own stories and characters and ideas. That would be beautiful too. I honestly, I honestly hope they just don't roll back to one of the old generations and try to continue the story like they're going back to their old grandparents to try to milk more money out of them like an allowance. Just please don't. We're already seeing Hollywood do this and it is starting to fail badly. We're gonna go ahead and move on here because I'm scaring myself now. I'm scared.
Please do not scare yourself. We care for you too much.
All right, how about horse butts?
You're trying to scare me.
Yay!
How about we talk about horse butts? See?
Yay, horse butts.
All right. Wild Mane says I've released speaking of horse things that we can watch with Tell Your Tale being over, Wild Mane has released episode 11. This one goes back to the old school tried and true of Coco saying, "I bet you wonder how we got here."
No, you were so close.
Nah, I'm not surprised. I mean, you're gonna go back to the old school if they're even going to change it because it's going to waver before they. It's not going to do a complete shift. It's going to be a slow wave.
Oh my God, Coco is
What?
Wait, what was it? Pony Life AJ.
Pretty much. But anyway, in this case of it looks like a book series about a superhero has caught everybody by storm except one pony, and because of that, apparently these ponies also have the attention span of sugar-laden squirrels on Adderall. And, you'll just have to check it out to see. In all honesty, I have so many questions about it, but hey, we got a horse that's bent over a bench. I'm sure somebody's happy. And we're going to go ahead and move on after that statement.
Why do you do this to yourself?
Because we also got a Tell Your Tale episode. Attack of the Vending Machine. So, yep, we're not done with Tell Your Tale quite yet. This time it looks like a vending machine that gives you all your wildest dreams of sweetness has gone rogue, and ponies need to literally get sucked into it to find out why.
You know, this is why you don't treat those things poorly. They're scary.
Oh no, the scary thing is what they find inside of it. Truly the most dangerous of things has taken over the vending machine. But I'll let you take a look at the episode and decide for yourselves. Anyway, Draconic. Wild Manes. It's an interesting show. It's not amazing. It's not terrible. It's literally right down the middle. It's not offensive. And I think you might actually have a little bit of fun with it. It's only 5-minute episodes, so it's quick and easy. You can get it done in an hour if you really wanted to. And I think it's got a pretty decent hook, and they could actually really roll out something interesting if they keep with it and they actually expand on the characters and the stories. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same as Tell Your Tale, a vehicle for selling toys, except it's actually horses now.
Also, they need to actually integrate with, the
Anyway.
format.
Sorry, we're running really short on time here, so we need to just book on here. Battle Gem Ponies. We talked about it last week. Now we're going to talk a little bit more because the soundtrack for Battle Gem Ponies has been released on the Yotsmark soundtrack YouTube site thingy. Blah. Yots Music. So yeah, if you want the full soundtrack of all 8 songs for Battle Gem Ponies to be able to play on repeat whenever you're doing daily tasks, now you can go ahead and get a free copy or just listen to it on YouTube. But yes, Battle Gem Music. Is anything sweeter? And with that, finally, the best gift ever, everybody. We're moving on. It's the best gift we could possibly give you. And with moving on, we're going to go ahead and go to our content creation corner, which is, of course, fan submissions and suggestions. And that starts off, of course, with our challenge of the week, where every week we do a random challenge pull for everybody out there from your suggestions. And everybody out there is encouraged to participate in the creation, whether through art, music, writing, arithmetic, dance poses, plushie battles, however you want to explore the theme, however you want to create your content and show it up for everybody. All we encourage is to just go out there and be creative. And of course, our challenge for this week by random pull on a wheel was Sherlock Holmes, which was really random because it was like one of the few things there that wasn't related to fall. But we also had a protest initiative challenge, didn't we?
The protest initiative challenge is, Circuit, what is going on with the background? Why am I seeing best GIF ever? This is not December.
You want to try? You're right. It isn't best gift ever. That's why it's changed already.
Oh, okay.
No, that's very much Halloween vibes right there.
My stream is behind by a bit.
It's all right.
The protest initiative challenge is Tiny Hat.
Tiny Hat.
Tiny Hat.
All right. Well, I did try my best to get a drawing done. Admittedly, I was not exactly in the best of shape today. And I did try something a little bit different with my art creation. So, let's go ahead and see what I do have so far.
I got a tiny hat.
Oh, I realized I missed a button on the deerstalker hat up there.
Oh, look, it's me.
Yes.
Textile Holmes. I can't come up with a clever name for it.
No.
You're Tech Holmes. It's Tech Holmes.
Ah.
Or Sure Tech Holmes. Sure Tech Holmes, everybody.
You know, that actually sounds like a company.
Yeah, what do you want? Anyway.
I like it, Circuit. I like it.
Yep. I'm trying something a little bit different with the lining here and the coloring. Obviously, I couldn't quite finish the coloring before I had to book it out of work, even though I even worked later than usual today. But, yeah, you can see that we have Tech Stallion here. And, of course, he is joined by his faithful, quote-unquote, assistant, Toa, who's wearing a very tiny bowler hat.
Yeah, Watson. Actually, no, Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century, Watson was a robot.
Yeah, but he also didn't have a tiny bowler hat that probably came off of a doll. Hence, of course, why Tech has quite the quizzical expression on his face.
Oh, I know what you can title this, Circuit.
What's that?
The Great Pony Detective.
Ooh, I like it.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Funny enough, I was kind of when I was trying to think of ideas for this, I did have images of the Great Mouse Detective floating through my brain while this was going. So, fair enough.
If I'm Sherlock and Toa is Watson, who's Radigan?
No, who's Moriarty? Who's Moriarty?
No, he's talking about. Never mind.
No, I know. I know. I thought we were still on Sherlock Holmes because it would be Basil.
I like to imagine that tiny hat on Toa is just magnetic. So he puts it on.
Actually,
Well, won't that mess with his memory banks?
actually, that would be even more hilarious. You know, like we'll go with that. He has it on, but it completely screws him up. So he just keeps doing random stupid stuff because of it.
No, you see, that's why Textalion keeps having to re-explain things to Watson, is because because he can't remember.
Elementary, dear Coason. I didn't quite.
Sure, Tech. I don't understand.
But, yep. And along with that, we didn't get any other entries at the moment. However, as mentioned last week, I did find. I can't believe this is happening. I did complete this. So we do got Creature and Suki fighting the epic debate between one another. And
Picture within a picture within a picture.
And also, for the newbie artists alumni group, they had the challenge this week of draw a pony procrastinating. And this one, I decided to take it to myself to try to work on perspective and moving things around. So I had Sunny lying on a couch, and I also tried to lay her legs around like she had them in different positions.
Okay, the only
Nobody
thing
clip that.
is that back leg at the bottom.
Do not do that. Wait, what?
Oh.
The only thing funky is the back leg at the bottom because it looks too similar to the front one. And
You should have seen what it looked like before. Oh my god, I had the hardest time with this. I honestly tried so hard to figure out how can I make this look like it's sticking out forward, and I just could not get it to look right. I tried my absolute best, and it just drove me mad. I think the really thing that killed me was I probably should have honestly gave up, moved the hoof up more so it was more towards the knee over here instead of down lower, made the leg straighter so it actually looked like it was sticking out instead of whatever this is going on, because I tried to straighten this out so it looked a little more straighter, but it just looks really weird and lumpy and just doesn't look right. I don't know. What do you think, Coldust?
I think. It looks good.
Back leg, bottom.
Well, I mean, he could talk about whatever he wants, but yeah. Go ahead.
Is, I don't know how to articulate how I would like adjust the leg because I'm not good at articulating those thoughts.
I know, right? You know something's wrong, but you don't know how to fix it right.
Like, I know where I would try and put lines to try to fix it, but I do not know how to verbalize how I would.
What did you think? More like going down like this way then, or?
Not exactly.
Well,
we'll talk about it after the show. I will say
it's something where he'd have to take the picture and draw lines on it.
You know, the fact that I got to the point,
it's not something you can verbal out.
You know, I'm gonna take some solace in the fact that it's actually to the point where he has to actually show it rather than he could just say, well, you just do this or you just move that over there. It's a lot more complicated.
Things so hard.
You know, I think
perspective is hard, y'all.
Perspective is hard, but the fact that it got it to the point where you can't just say, you just needed to move this a little bit, or it's not a simple fix, which is also kind of a compliment because it means my skills are improving. I'm just unfortunately improving to the point where it's a lot harder to get it fixed.
Okay, so second, you wanted that leg straight out from the body, right?
Well, yeah.
You could have just drew the shape of the hoof, moved it a little bit further up, and not have anything but the tail.
That's what I was talking about earlier. But I also was trying to work on trying to make the knees and thighs and everything actually look accurate too to laying. So I admit maybe I kind of bit off a little more than I could chew on there a little bit.
Hey,
And
that's
it
the only
doesn't-
way. It's the only way you're gonna learn is by trying it
Yeah.
out, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't, and like the more you do it, the more you'll get a grasp of how the shapes are supposed to look to make it work. Honestly, I think you did really good for what it's worth.
Yeah. No, I get it, and I thank you for that at least.
At quick
And
glance, what my brain says is the hoof should be a little bit more toward the armrest.
Mhm.
oh
And that
really?
might
Yeah.
make it work a little bit better.
Well, if you wanted it straight out, it would have covered up there because of how the back thing is, and pony legs are horrible.
But yeah, which makes it funny that I actually got these legs going a little bit better on tech.
Oh no!
Vaguely
Side-
thinks it's the
side-
other leg that's off, and that leg is fine.
Mhm.
I don't know. Maybe. Well, no, the other leg also has its issues too. I kind of gave, not exactly gave
Oh.
up, but yeah, I think the back knee here, I probably should have just sealed it off or made it maybe a little fatter or something. I don't know. There's a lot going on there. We're gonna move on for the moment. Wonky pose, absolutely a wonky pose. Safety. Okay, everybody. So here we have the picker wheel. This is your chance to put in what you think should be our next challenge of the week. We will take anybody's suggestions. Everybody gets one though, so make sure once you get it in that you have it locked in.
And this also means Suki is now able to vote since.
Well, I mean, he was able to get his in last week too, but yeah, no, he could get his. He could have gotten his anyway, but yeah.
Well then, rejoice, Circuit, for I have left you alone this week.
Huzzah!
No, that's my submission.
Oh. Oh, huzzah! No, that was actually my. Oh.
No,
Terrifying
Circuit,
prospect of
Circuit,
I have
it's
left you
rejoice,
alone.
Circuit, I have left you alone this week.
I know. I'm just getting it in there, so it's not like completely taking up a bunch of space.
And if it wins, oh,
Terrifying.
Herlock
Terrifying.
Sholmes
Why should he be enjoying the fact?
stretching arms upward.
Left him
Why
alone
is
all
Draconic the only one being generally calm about this? Everybody else is basically draw me the existentialism of finding out that you will one day die in this world. And he's just like arms stretching upwards. It's like thank you, thank you, Draconic.
dramatic.
Thank you.
Because I like to torture you.
It's not just me though. This is for everybody that wants to try to be creative and needs a bit of inspiration.
You
But-
know I'm with there.
You can
I
do a
know.
lot of things with just wonky pose.
I know. It's just funny that everybody is just. I can think of difficult, but yeah. I just finding it funny that everybody is coming up with all this insanity and we just got arms stretched upwards. All right. Last chance to get yours in now. Get them in now or forever hold your peace. While I get a
Until
sip.
next week.
Until next week, of course. Going once. Twice. You were just saying you have to challenge yourself to grow. I know, vaguely creepy. I'm just having fun with the fact that everybody is throwing all of this insanity, and we just suddenly get arms stretched upwards. It's just I find it funny, but I would take it all makes me grow. Arms stretched upward, I could have somebody trying to reach for like a thing of cookies on top of a fridge and trying to get the perspective from the top of the fridge, looking down on them, and that so you got the bigger hoof holding out there and the strained face. It depends on just how you make it difficult for you or how you challenge yourself. And that is why I waited. We just got one in just before I could randomize. Giant.
I literally had to mute because I saw a giant beetle walking across my floor.
Oh, so that's what
Nice.
inspired that.
You know,
All right. Wow, we got a lot in here. So we're
Did-
going to go ahead. Yes.
I was gonna ask Textalion, did you juice it?
no.
Ooh.
Move
It's not the
in.
month yet.
No
Rolling.
Beetlejuice?
Oh my god. Oh no.
Wait,
Is it? No, it is.
Suki
Oh!
almost won again.
No, it's not that Suki almost won again. It's just the fact that I was just having fun with the concept that everybody's going nuts, and I get stretching arms upward, and that's the one that wins. Just so stretching arms upward.
This is how the picker wheel goes.
This is how the picker wheel goes. I swear this thing has a mind of its own.
Well, since it's not technically on the site, I can't make you another thing. Oh god, I would have to combine all the hosts here.
So, next week's challenge is stretching arms upward. Remember, this is for anybody and everybody who wants to participate. And it doesn't have to be drawing. You can do a story about it. You can write music about it. You can do a little play with pony figures. However you want to express an artistic or inspirational style to this, that's all that counts. And also sticking to the theme of stretching arms upward, or trying to find a way to fit that theme into it. But of course, if that isn't enough for you, or you want a different approach because you think the challenge might be a little weird or too complicated, we do also have a protest initiative challenge.
That is correct.
And what's our protest initiative challenge, Coldust?
Pick one or two.
I mean, is that the actual thing, or?
Oh no.
I mean, do you literally want me to pick one or two, or are you
Yes.
just? Oh, one.
Okay. The Protest Initiative challenge this week is 2 plastic cups.
Oh no.
Stretching arms upward and 2 plastic cups.
2
Wow.
plastic cups.
That almost writes itself a little bit there, doesn't it?
Yeah,
And here with
but I
stretching
also-
arms upward, my brain was just thinking, uppies!
Yeah.
Oh
what
yeah, we're stretching the pony up.
Oh,
Or
you
Picking
know-
the pony up, picking the pony up with your stretched arms.
actually,
So it could be silly, like CMC going up to Commander going uppies, and Commander just rolling his eyes, going fine,
actually,
and then throwing CMC.
it'd be funnier if you just have a pony on the ground, just stretching his arms up with 2 silo cups, just like another shot. just
The possibilities are endless.
They are endless, and it's up to you guys, and me included, on how you want to interpret them and how you want to bring the creation to the table.